everyone, welcome to another Color Wednesday. Today I'm using this stamp set from Gorgeous. I've never had any of their stamp sets before. I was always curious about them, and they're so beautiful. Even before you stamp them, they're full color on the cling. They have a really nice packaging on the front and back. They really encourage you to reuse the packaging as well, but I'm going to take it out of the packaging so you can see. It's a really high quality cling rubber stamp, and I think it's just so beautiful. So I'm going to start out by stamping this large image on some 5x7 Strathmore watercolor paper. I'm using the back of the watercolor paper because it's slightly more smooth and it'll be a little bit easier to get a good stamped impression. I'm using Ranger Archival ink in jet black, and I'm just pressing this stamp down really well. It's a really large stamp. It practically fills this entire 5x7 piece of watercolor paper, so I really wanted to make sure I got every single bit of the image. Today I'm going to be using some distress markers, and in last week's video I kind of discovered that it was easier to add color with distress markers if you took the color from an acrylic block. So I'm going to be coloring this entire image here with this same method where I color the images or color the ink onto this large acrylic block, and I just got some white paper underneath it so I can see the color a little bit better. And then I'm picking it up with just a little bit of water and a watercolor brush and then adding it to my image here. Now everything is going to go on really light at first, but it's better to build color starting from a light shade to a darker shade than it would be to just go ahead and slap on a really dark color, because with watercoloring you can't take away that color. Once it's there forever. So you want to start with a lighter shade and kind of build on top. So I'm using Tattered Rose for the skin tones and then Vintage Photo for the shading, and then I'll start to bring in a little bit of Worn Lipstick as her blush on her cheeks. And you'll notice that I get a little bit too dark here on this other cheek. It goes on pretty strong, so I quickly add a little more water to it and then take my paper towel and dab at it, and that'll pick up some of that color. And then I go in with a little bit more water on top to try to get that to blend out. That's one way that you can kind of save it a little bit if you accidentally put on a little bit too much color. So I'm going to go ahead and keep coloring here. I'm going to keep the video at real time. It's not going to be sped up at all, but I am going to turn on some music because basically you can kind of follow along what I'm doing here, and I hope you enjoy. I will pick up the voiceover at the very end after I finish the coloring. completely dry, I took some scissors and cut it out, kind of really fussy cutting around all these edges. It took quite a bit of time, so I actually turned off my camera and just kept cutting because it took a long time. Then I took my black distress marker and black soot. You could use any black marker for this because at this point we're not adding more water to the image, but I just used the black soot marker because that's what I had out. And I'm painting the white edges, the cut edges, and that just gives it a more finished look. So I want to make a 5x7 card, but I wanted it to be top folding, and I don't have a cardstock that's large enough for that. So I cut one piece to 5x7 and the other to 5x7.5, and then I turned it on its side and scored it at 1/2 inch from the edge, and then folded that down. I put some red line tape all along that little folded edge. And this is going to allow me to create my own 5x7 card, but have it be top folding. And when otherwise you couldn't do that because the cardstock isn't large enough. You'd have had to have 14 inches long cardstock to do this. So I just lined that up and pressed it down to create my card front, and there's my 5x7. Now at this point I was going to do a couple different things, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. This first one I took pumice stone distress marker, and then I painted some stripes onto another 5x7 piece of watercolor paper. And by starting at the bottom and just adding these stripes in, and then not adding any more ink to the block, but just adding water when it gets a little bit too dry. When you do this, it allows you to get sort of like a fading effect with the colors, almost like ombre. It's going to kind of fade off up to the top. And that's the look I was going for. And then I decided I don't know if I want to use that piece. So then I started to do this other piece using some pumice stone distress ink and black soot distress ink on a craft mat or a craft sheet. So I'm just putting these inks down. You guys have seen me do this technique in the past. I'm just putting down those colors directly onto the craft sheet and then taking a spray bottle, this is a mister bottle, and misting that until I get pools of ink. And then taking some watercolor paper and putting it directly down onto those ink puddles. And I kind of press it in and kind of smush it around, move it a little bit, and then lift up. This is the initial coloring, so I'll dry that with my heat tool. When it's completely dry, I pounce it back into the puddles of ink, and it adds more interest to this watercolor piece here. I do it a couple times. You can get pretty messy here. And once I have it kind of pounced into all those colors and it looks about where I want it to be, then I'm going to go ahead and heat it with my heat tool again until it's completely dry. And then I'm going to do this a third time, adding even more color, adding more and more ink, and just trying to get a lot of depth of color and some good layers. And once that is completely done the way I want it, I'll heat set it. And then I'm going to be using my die cutting machine and cutting a circle out. So I'm using this, the stitched circle stacks from My Favorite Things. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be using the circle or the negative, so just wanted to get that placed on this watercolor piece here. I did cut it down to 4.5 by 6.5, so that it could go on the 5x7 card and have a 1/4 inch border around the edge. So here I was, oh well, maybe I can use them together. I wasn't sure if I could use these pieces together or not, so I thought, oh, I'll try this. I think it kind of looks like the moon behind her. I think that would be kind of cool. Then I thought, well, maybe I'll have the stripes behind the circle. And then I realized I wanted more of the darker shades showing like that. And I thought that looked really kind of cool. So I decided to go with that. I added some foam tape to that watercolor piece and then put that directly over the top of the stripes. And then I put adhesive on the back of the stripe paper and just still had the foam exposed from the watercolor piece and put that directly on my 5x7 card base. Then it was time to prep the cutout that I made. So I put one layer of adhesive behind the books and one layer of adhesive on her head. And then I doubled up in the center area so that when it goes on the card, it lays flat. I also made sure to put double adhesive under her leg that's hanging out by itself because I want it to be really stable and secure. Now this watercolor paper is pretty thick, so I wasn't too concerned about the strands of her hair. I figured those would probably be okay as long as I'm careful while I'm making the card. And then I pressed that down onto the front of the card, kind of centering it vertically, but a little off to one side since she's kind of leaning on the books. And then after I had this done, I wanted to add a white stitch, just a white faux stitch line around that circle just to give it a little bit of interest. And then I took my white gel pen and filled in those dots on her dress. I was going to do this from the very beginning and just forgot to do it when I cut her out. Then I added some clear Wink of Stella shimmer, kind of glitter brush shimmer on top of her dress and also the books, just the red book and the purple and then the last red book. Just adding a little bit of detail. I'm going to show you up close what that looks like with that Wink of Stella. I think it just adds something extra special to a colored image like this. And then there was a little tiny white spot at the very bottom of the card that was bugging me. So I just filled that in with a black soot marker and a little bit of water. And that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed and that it gives you an idea of how to use some of those coloring images that are in your stash. You can put a cut window behind them and have it span from side to side over that circle window. I think it's kind of a fun way to create a card. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Head on over to my blog today. I have a really fast giveaway. I think I'm going to close the giveaway in about 8 hours, but it's for 7 $100 gift cards to ErinCondren.com. The new life planners are being announced tonight at midnight Pacific, I think. So check that out, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching today's video, you guys. I have 3 more distress watercoloring videos for you. The first uses some distress inks and some markers, and the middle one is all distress inks, and then the last one is just distress markers. So I hope you guys enjoy those extra videos, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the top corner, and you can visit my blog at kwarnerdesign.com. All of the supplies for this video are listed down below or over at my blog in today's coordinating blog post. And I will catch you guys on Friday for a new Friday Focus video. Thanks for watching.